It feels like it has been a lifetime since I filmed a YouTube video, and I felt compelled to share this message today and come out of hibernation. So this message is potent. And yeah, God has put my life on airplane mode the last month or so. It feels like a lifetime. I probably filmed a video maybe like a month and a half ago, and so much has been happening that I felt compelled to share and share a very important message for a very important soul that's meant to hear this right now. So let's just dive into it. I don't know exactly what wants to come out, but you're gonna know if this is for you. I'm speaking to a very ancient soul who's done a shit ton of karmic clearing and healing and alchemy and all the things. Like this is not for someone who's like still stuck seeking and chasing and all that. Like you have been on this journey for a while and you are becoming a master. You are a master alchemist. You are highly aware, right? And also operating from a frequency of divine coherence. So I speak to this in the Quantum Ascension Shift Codes series that I launched in summer 2025, so last summer in June, I think. If you resonated with that series, this is like, I'm going to end up shooting a bonus video for that series because this is for the collective that resonated with that series. And of course, this is timeless. You'll find this whenever you're meant to, because there are going to be other waves moving into this phase that I'm about to try to put words to. But right now, at the time of this recording, it's January 27th, 2026, and we are weeks away from really moving into this fire horse energy of 2026, and this is the last shedding. So really quick, the thing that motivated, so this video doesn't get too long, the thing that motivated and inspired and called me to push record here is I'm feeling called to share what's been going on the last few weeks behind the scenes as I've been guided into hermit mode to really listen through the stillness of what wants to be created through this vessel, right? And listening and surrendering and allowing and receiving. And it's been very interesting. So I'll try to put words to it so it's not too confusing. But first off, you'll probably know if this is for you as well. If you've been experiencing a lot of like timeline glitches, like I recently went on a walk. It's a mile walk around my neighborhood and it took 3 seconds. That's what it felt like. It took 3 seconds. And when I arrived back home after doing the loop, I was arriving back to my neighborhood and I couldn't recall the walk, even though I just walked a mile. And then there was nothing, I'm not like spacing out or anything. There's nothing like physically wrong with me. It was just like a glitch. I don't even know how to describe it. And then, so I was like, well, I might as well just go on another walk since this one, I don't remember. And maybe it happened, maybe it didn't happen. Like, did I just walk or what just happened? And then, so I started to walk again, do another loop, and it just felt like deja vu the entire time I was walking. It was very cool. Anyways, so what's been happening is there's been lots of different parallel realities and timelines that I have consciously been choosing, and then going down that timeline and having reality reflect back as soon as like I align with the choice, like the like 3D reality, the field already starts reflecting back very fast. Because there is no delay or doubt in divine mind. That perceived gap of manifestation only really exists when you're still operating as a separate sense of self that feels there's something out there that you need to get and bring into your reality. But when you are operating as the field, there is no gap. There is no delay in divine mind. And the perceived gap, right, the quote unquote gap collapses. I speak to this inside the Quantum Ascension Shift Codes series, which you can find. I'll probably link it below this video. That's the series that I launched in the summer. So regardless of where you're at in the process that I'm explaining here, if this resonates with you, go ahead and get that series. I packaged it up. It was originally live. It was originally channeled as a free live stream, and then I packaged it up and I've made it super, super affordable. I think it's like at $27 right now. So feel free to get the series. But if you resonate with this, like I go into this a lot, this process of quantum ascension and shifting and collapsing timelines. Everything that I channeled through in that series will be very valuable for you. And there's going to be a bonus to that because I'm just feeling called to shoot a bonus video for that. Before I get sidetracked, where was I? So choosing different timelines, parallel realities that are available, and then watching reality reflect back very fast, that decisive decision, that discerning decision of what I was consciously choosing as a creator, as a divine creator, as a creator that is one with the ultimate creator, and walking in that and collapsing the timeline very fast based on the conscious focusing mechanism, right? And it was like sitting down and placing an order at a restaurant and selecting from the menu and then having it delivered at the table very fast. Now, as the things were delivered and I started to go down those timelines, they wouldn't really hit the spot. That's the best way to describe it. It wouldn't be like really, like I could choose whatever. I was free to choose whatever timeline I chose was being reflected back and is reflected back very fast. And so it's like, okay, I better get discerningly fucking clear on what I want or what is being called through me. It's not really coming from egoic desire anymore, right? Like we still have ego as long as we're here on planet Earth playing this 3D game, and I'm totally cool with that. Ego can get behind your dreams and your manifestations and your sacred vision and like help you anchor it and manifest it. So like ego is a necessary part of your individuation, right? Your divine expression, your unique expression of the one. So regardless, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I was choosing these different, from this menu of infinite potentiality, these different parallel realities, and having them reflected back into the, reflecting back into the 3D and showing them being revealed very fast, many times instantaneously. And this is over the course of like 4 to 6 weeks. So like really since this has been happening like rapid speed since like maybe October of 2025, and we're in January now. So I would receive it, start to receive it, and then be like, oh, that doesn't really hit the spot. That doesn't really, really light my soul up the way I thought it would, or, you know what I mean? And sometimes the choices, the realities were still based off of old perceptions of how things could work or should work, right? And so there was still some of that old identity coming in, like, oh, well, this is what I've always done, so maybe it should be this or that, right? Like, so there was still like this bleeding over, right, of the old identity, where there was this like I don't know how else to describe it, where it's just based on what is known, right? Like what has already been, what has already existed, what has already worked, what has already played out, and then creating a new timeline around something that's already been known. And none of those actually really truly hit the spot. The soul is being called into the unknown, and you have a sacred, here's the message that's really wants to come through. This is what was motivating me to hit record. You have a sacred vision, right? So the sacred vision, you don't want to be, you want to be, you can create whatever you want, basically. Once you get to this level of collapsing the gap and like literally walking in divine coherence, it's time to get crystal fucking clear on what you actually desire and choose it, and decisively choose it, right? Because momentum is picking up very fast, and you want to start anchoring into the groundedness of that vision. You need to ground that vision into 3D reality, which requires structure and stability and then the momentum, when it picks up, can build on that solid foundation of what you chose. So I guess I used this as a metaphor on one of the calls when I was explaining this to some of the women that I work with. It was kind of like, you know, if you're going to say like you're like this leaf blowing in the wind, just going with the flow, like that's cool. We do go with the flow, and the wind will take you, right? And that's like, but you have the ability to focus consciousness. Like that's part of being that's part of the gift of humanity, is being able to focus consciousness in a way to play this 3D game at the highest level. And so it's like a paradox of like letting go and surrendering, but also getting clear on what you're available for and what you choose out of this menu that you get to choose off this menu that you get to choose from of infinite potentiality. All of the different potentials are available. And so I was playing that. I was ordering and I was receiving, and I was getting clear on what, yeah, that didn't feel right. That didn't feel right. That didn't feel right. Like as soon as it would come in, it was like, yeah, that's not 100. That's not it, you know? And it wasn't like, it was just selecting. It was just like this divine selection, right? Process of play and playing in this reality, like with curiosity. But the vision, the sacred vision that's been embedded in my soul for a very long time, that is, I'll share more on this in future videos, because I don't want this to be a super long video. That came into fruition like with precision, to a T, with precision, so fast. And I called it in fast, and it showed up so fast. And then, well, I won't describe what happens next yet. I'm going to save that. But what I can share is timeline, just different realities playing in them, getting clear, watching it reflect back, realizing, you know, and then, you know, like modifying, like choosing again, right? Playing, being a cooperative component. And then the vision that is completely the most potent, the most alive in the body and in the soul, is the one that was the hardest for me to give just full on permission to live, if that makes sense. It's full on permission to choose that. There was resistance coming up and giving full on permission to choose that timeline, because it did require fully stepping into the unknown and fully trusting in faith and not knowing how anything's going to work out. And it's a complete identity shift, and it's a complete restructuring of current physical reality. And it also is the one that lights up the most, and also the one that has the most curiosity, the most expansiveness behind it, the feeling of expansiveness behind it. And so you may be experiencing that as well. And faith, faith is like my middle name. Like I'm not new to walking by faith, not by sight. That is the path that I've been on for over a decade, since before even I was consciously on the spiritual awakening path or ascension timeline or this or that, like whatever you want to call it. Like, and unwavering faith and trust has always been there. But there has been seasons where I highly doubted my own intuition, and that came from previous, you know, identities that don't exist anymore, right? So they were seen through. And so I don't know where I was going with that. It's interesting though, obviously, right? Like the one that leads you into the unknown and really lights your soul up is the one that you're going to have the hardest time giving yourself permission to actually live and be and experience. And so as I gave myself the permission to, oh yeah, it does get to be that good. It gets to be that easy. It gets to be that abundant. It gets to be that unique and playful and creative and just like totally out of the box and like nothing that I've ever known and nothing that I've ever seen and totally unique to this calling on my heart. The more I allowed myself to play in that and give myself permission to feel it, to know it, to trust it, and to speak it into existence, because our words are wands, as I love to quote Francis Scoville Shin. It came in with rapid momentum and laser precision to a T, and then so I'm trying to not to go down too many rabbit holes, but what's happening now in the collective, which I know is happening for many, and you may resonate with this, so drop it in the comments, is you are getting to, we as a collective, because I know who I'm speaking to. I'm speaking to New Earth humans. You are the leaders of New Earth. You are the first wavers. Okay, this is who I speak to. You may find this later, years from now, and other waves will find these transmissions and it will resonate with you if it's meant to. But at the time of this recording, I'm speaking to the first wavers that are here to, build New Earth. And we each have like individual ways of doing that, but ultimately it's you living your highest vision for yourself and just giving yourself permission to choose that. The other thing that I was going to share is a lot of people right now are experiencing what appears to be like a setback, or like this shit hitting the fan, or like all of a sudden things not working out after having things starting to work out. And so one of the motivations, inspirations, calling to hit record on this is, and share this message with you, is what's happening is the same thing I shared in Quantum Ascension Shift Codes. It's just happening with more precision. You're already quantumly entangled with your highest timeline. That's why it's coming into such crystal clear clarity and coming into your reality. And you're anchoring into it. You're anchoring into it and collapsing it as we speak. And it's like that last fizzle of the old identity, the last shedding. This is like literally as we're coming off the year of the snake, the last shedding is still like, it's coming off, it's coming off now, right? And so if you are experiencing, this is the whole point of this message, I'm finally getting to it. If you are experiencing what feels like a setback, or like shit hitting the fan, or the rug getting pulled out, or all of a sudden things are starting to happen and now you feel blocked all over again, or like it feels inaccessible to you after you're on this timeline, it is just the fizzling out. Like you literally are walking in two worlds right now. You're literally walking in two worlds right now, okay? You have your highest divine timeline that you're already quantum entangled with. That's why you've been experiencing what I just shared. Any remnants of the old identity that's flaring up right now does not deserve your attention. So the message here is, you do not renegotiate your vision. You do not renegotiate your vision. You do not negotiate with fear. You do not negotiate with doubt. You are here to hold the line and know the truth of who and what you are, and how powerful you are as a divinely worthy child of God, co-creating this experience. Nothing has changed. You are still in perfect alignment with your highest timeline, your new earth timeline, your version of heaven on earth, which is the highest sacred vision. You do not need to, because the ego will come in, the egoic mind will come in the back door and get you to try to narrate what's happening and figure out what's happening. You're walking two timelines, you're walking in two different worlds, and the old world identity is phasing out. This is not the time to renegotiate your vision, negotiate with fear, or negotiate with doubt. You hold your sacred vision. You know what is true. You've had the awakenings. Now you're here to walk in that truth and know it. Anything that comes up, I'm getting full body chills right now, that tries to hook you into fear, doubt, or anxiety. This, you don't have to deny anything. You can feel whatever you need to feel, but this is not something you need to give your airtime to. It helps just to know that this is the final shedding, that this is the final shift, and that reality. Already you'll know that this message is for you, because already you're not phased the same way as you were maybe 6 months ago or a year ago or 3 years ago. Like, you're not phased the same way. Like, it takes a lot to like shake you, right? Like, you're not phased in that way. And this doesn't mean you deny deny responsibility. You hold, or just like you're having this human experience, but you are the one that assigns meaning to what is happening. So the message that's coming through right now is you're not falling backwards. You're not slipping. Nothing is going wrong. It's the old throes of it's the last death throes of the old identity that's fizzling out. It's the last shedding, and momentum's going to follow suit right after and simultaneously, but momentum has already picked up. It will be picking up even more mid-February and beyond. This last shedding is not here to shake you. You're not here to renegotiate your sacred vision and try to dilute it and make it fit into some safer, more palatable, more digestible, more acceptable version. Your sacred vision on your heart that lights you up, that is not something that can be compromised. And you hold the line now and just know that this is what's happening. And you're not alone in this, because everyone that is moving through this process right now is going through this collective shift together. And some may be a little ahead and some may be in different, but it's very timely and timeless when you land on this. So you're not doing this alone. There's an entire collective that's moving through this right now. You may be seeing lots of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, right? You may be seeing lots of 9s, and you may be seeing lots of like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like countdown, like backwards. That's the message that's coming through. There's lots of momentum. There's also steps, tangible action steps to take from the identity of the one that you have chosen, right? So there's a shift that's happening somehow. For you, it's going to look unique to you, however that is playing out, whether that's a new living environment, a new career opportunity, a new way of earning, a new partnership, a new friendship, a new community, like whatever. Like, things are shifting, and this is like the last shedding before momentum is going to pick up. And so it is time to stay fully grounded and rooted in your truth and in your knowing, and trusting your intuition, trusting in the unseen, walking in faith, and just knowing that that is what is happening right now. And it's happening fast. Like, this is like literally like so fast. the main thing that I'm feeling called to end on is just to share that, like, you are already entangled with your highest timeline, or you wouldn't be resonating with this message. It wouldn't have found you. And if it did find you and didn't resonate, you would have already clicked away, and then, it just wouldn't be calling you in. If you've landed here and this is resonating and you've been experiencing anything like what I've been sharing, and you know what's in your heart, you know what's calling you, you know what's pulling on your heartstrings, you know what God is speaking through you, through your heart, right? That you are one with the ultimate creator, and the ultimate creator speaks through your heart, and you know what your heart is calling you toward. You may try to second guess it, you may try to doubt it, you may try to run from it because it gets you out of your comfort zone and takes you fully into the unknown. So that's to be like, you're just not going to know. You're not meant to know any more than that right now. This is true faith embodied, and being able to move as the divinely worthy creator that you are. You are one with the ultimate creator, and you have to just trust and know. This doesn't mean, this isn't passive. This isn't sitting around being passive and waiting or not taking any action or anything like that. You actually may be guided to take action. You may be guided to make some moves. You may be guided to actually move. You may be guided to stop doing this one thing and start something different. I've had to go through a whole rebrand the last 4 to 6 weeks when I went into hermit mode, and God put, like, what I like to share, I say is it felt like just put my whole life on airplane mode. So I could truly hear. Not like I'm not connected in hearing, but it was just like it felt necessary to just unplug and go inward. And yeah, just because so much is shifting here, which everything that's happening now is setting you up for major success, major abundance for 2026. If you're listening to this and you're resonating with this, and it's going to happen suddenly. Like, these moves happen. You move when you're moved, and reality reacts. Like, that's kind of the flow. You move when you're moved, and reality reacts, and you'll know what the move is. And sometimes it's to sit still and do a lot of nothing and hermit, and sometimes it's to take action, and sometimes it's to, start a business. Sometimes it's to close a business. Sometimes it's enter a relationship. Sometimes it's leave a relationship. Sometimes it's, whatever it is for you. You may be moved to move in many different ways, and reality will be responding to that. So, like I said, I shared, I'm going to end it on this. You are already entangled with your highest timeline. Anything that comes in that is reflecting the opposite of that is the final throes of the old timeline phasing out. It is the final shedding. And you already know this, or I'm shining a light on this and it's clicking and it's resonating. So take it if it resonates. You get to apply the meaning to things. Nothing has any inherent meaning other than the meaning you give it. And what you choose to believe and perceive becomes your reality. And the higher you rise, and it's not even higher, right, in frequency, but when you think of like shame being the lowest frequency, and unconditional love and joy and being, some of the highest from that perspective, as you have alchemized and you are no longer resonating at those lower, denser emotions, and those things just aren't glommed onto your field anymore because you've alchemized them. you're naturally just going to be the frequency that you already are, which is already high. So you're not rising in frequency per se, but it will feel like that because you've cut all the dead weight, so to speak. So it's like a hot air balloon. When you cut all the sandbags, you just naturally rise, but you're just returning to the frequency that you always are. You're just no longer bogging it down with a bunch of bullshit and untruths. And when that happens and you're fully embodied in your truth, the gap collapses and things happen very fast. So and not only that, the collective right now that we're the whole collective moving in the year of 2026 that we're in right now, cosmically, all of that taken into account, like momentum, you can already feel it. I don't have to tell you that. You wouldn't be here right now if you weren't already feeling a lot of momentum. You may be feeling called to ground and get and stabilize in this frequency so that you can now build a solid foundation on what is true. And so in order to ground your sacred vision in this 3D reality, your frequency needs to stabilize in this, which is what's happening right now. You are stabilizing in divine coherence. And it's like the old identity, it's like it leaks in, and then it just won't do that anymore, right? It's just like it's not going to be accessible anymore. But you're literally, like, for lack of a better way of describing this, walking into timelines simultaneously, walking into realities simultaneously, and the other one is just fizzling out. So hold the line, hold your vision. Don't limit your vision, don't dilute your vision. You don't have to be realistic with your vision, or logical with your vision. Allow yourself to dream. This is really the inner child, allowing your inner child to play. That's the other thing that's coming up. Allowing your inner child to play and have fun and create from the unknown what wants to be birthed through you, which cannot be done in the mind. It can only be done when you're anchored in your truth and your sovereignty, in your divine frequency, fully embodied, and allowing yourself, giving yourself permission to live your best life. And I look forward to sharing some future transmissions with you, because so much has come through in the last 4 to 6 weeks that I will be sharing. So keep an eye out. If this resonated with you, hit subscribe, comment below, let me know if you're holding the line, if you're holding the vision. And until next time, I hope this finds you well. Namaste.